discussions with you about a bridge, the bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. And we're here because of our very kind sponsors. So let's hear from them, TDC and Nagico Insurance, and then we'll be back with you with the discussions for tonight and 2 new bridges. So let's hear from Nagico first of all, and then TDC next.
Life's unpredictability is a constant reminder to be prepared. Let Nagico Insurances safeguard what matters most to you. Our comprehensive medical coverage includes dental, vision, and preventative care, ensuring your well-being. With a range of life insurance options, we assist in estate planning and cover significant expenses like education or home ownership. Contact Nagico now for tailored coverage that suits your needs. Nagico Insurances. Fast, fair, and always there.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our Airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Thank you very much to TDC and Nagico Insurances. And we're going to start the program this evening by taking in one of my favorite calypsos from Latumba. And he calls this one Liberate Your Mind. And that is exactly what I want people to do. Just start thinking new, start thinking afresh. Liberate your mind so that you can conceive of an idea that will eventually see us having a bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts, so that communication and transportation and the movement of goods and services can take place 24 hours a day. And you don't have to wait for any boat to say that they're ready for you to go to St. Kitts, but you can do it on your own. Travel when you want. And so, Latumba, I'm playing an old one, and he says, liberate your mind.
Pointing away from its owner, shouting blame and crying shame, but all are guilty just the same. Liberate your mind, my brethren. Liberate your mind, I say. Distrust and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. Got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country could live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Some dictating, everybody want to control. control. There's no process for creating an awareness of greater social and economic goals. This system has got to go, or we will suffer more. The power only working for a society with you. So true. Liberate your mind, my brother. Liberate your mind, I say. This just and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah. Despite the differences our eyes have seen, we need political unity. Be ready to unite and to work that fight. Stand up for justice and for right. Break down the barriers in this land. Stand between the working man who died so long, worked so hard, yet so little out of life. Got it right. Liberate your mind, my brother. Liberate your mind, I say. This just and greed is keeping us back, crippling the state. We got to rise to the occasion and demonstrate to the world that we all are one, that we in this little country can live in love and harmony, working for prosperity, prosperity for you and me. Oh yeah.
Sound of La Tumba out of Antigua and Barbuda. That's a calypso from so many years ago, but the words still pertinent, asking us to liberate our minds and advocating and admonishing that mistrust and greed are keeping us back. We have to rise to the occasion and prove to the world that we all are one. Couldn't have said it any better myself, Latumba. And when you look back at our federation, which became independent in 1983, and we have had 4 prime ministers of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis so far. Dr. the Right Honorable Kennedy Simmons, who was our first Prime Minister from 1983 until 1995, losing to the Right Honorable Dr. Llewellyn Douglas in 1995, and who remained in office until 2015 before he too lost to a coalition led by Dr. Timothy Harris in 2015. And then there was a palace coup, and he lost office in 2022. And now, Dr. Terence Drew, who has been our Prime Minister since 2022, when he replaced Timothy Harris. And yes, we're independent, and yes, we're 2 islands, 1 federation, fortunate enough to be just 2 miles apart from each other. But that's where the fortune ends. Because the misfortune is that since we became independent 42 years ago, we None of the prime ministers, none of the federal governments, no private entity has seen it fit to have a physical bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. Dr. Douglas did say a sentence. Well, let me be more generous. He said more than a sentence, because he did speak very briefly in Parliament about a physical bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. But I don't want people to get too excited about that, because Dr. Douglas was in government from 1995 until 2015. That's a period of 20 years when certainly he had more than enough time to present these plans to the people, to present the plans to cabinet, to present plans to parliament, and to have some discussions and to get some physical work done in terms of conceptual drawings, in terms of getting estimates and so on. So to hear this sentence from Dr. Douglas about building a physical bridge when he was out of power in terms of being the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister of the island, doesn't say a hell of a lot. He puts it on the record, but that's it. You have to give him credit, though, for being the person who initiated and opened and stopped the federal office here in Nevis. But having done that, I expected more. By now, certainly, the federal office should have been in a building owned by the federal government, on lands owned or leased by the federal government. But since the federal office was opened in Nevis, they have been paying rent. Oh yeah, they have been paying rent. So that was a good little gesture to say we have a federal office in Nevis, so you don't have to run to St. Kitts to do little simple things. I mean, I'm told that people went to St. Kitts in 1970 to get birth papers and other little simple things and lost their lives on the Christina. We are now in the year 2026, and the federal office in Nevis is just there. You still have a lot of Nevisians who are unsure what business can be done at the federal office. You still don't have any of the members of the cabinet in the federal government who pay 1 hour, a half a day, a full day visit to Nevis so that people can see them at the federal office. But if you think that is sad, you have to say that even sadder is the fact that the Prime Minister of the Federation has never come to Nevis on an official visit. I suspect that by now somebody has told him where the federal office is. And certainly somebody must have told him that it is his responsibility as the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis in terms of the operations run by the federal office here in Nevis. But the fact that he still has not visited, maybe, just maybe, he's saying that if there was a bridge, he could drive over and drive back. Maybe. If that is the case, then somebody should say to him that he should start the process of having consultations, of having consultants, so that you can make sure that you can take away from this little foolishness of having a federal office in Nevis, but not visiting the federal office. That makes absolutely no sense to me. But let's go to the phone lines early and say hello, good evening, caller.
Caller, good night.
It's a great night. How are you tonight?
Talk the things, Talk the things. These things should be heard. And the people that think it's a Nevis should know these things. You could imagine, Caller, that up to now a federal office in Nevis. You don't even see a minister from Bastille from the federal government going over to Nevis and spending even 5 minutes. You understand? Talk the things, Carly. This is what people want to hear. We have a prime minister. You all been asking him to come to Nevis. So, how long about 3-4 years
since he
we
took office.
acknowledge El Camino Willet with the dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's since that time, right?
He came to the dinner.
And he gave all kind of offers. That vagabond boy. Have a good night.
You have a good night.
I'm dealing with them in the CARICOM meeting. Me want no lot of people, me alone, go handle them. You have a good night, Carla. Talk the things.
Thank you very much. I want to suggest that not just the federal ministers, but there was a time when Eric, Alexis, and Mark held federal offices in the federal cabinet, in the federal government. Maybe they argue that they had their own offices here in Nevis. But surely it could not have hurt if they were to say, hey, listen, on federal matters, come see me down at Government Road so that we can have some discussions. I mean, there was a time when the farmers in Nevis were having so many problems with respect to feed, with respect to the cost of feed, with respect to wire, fish pot wire, the availability of fish pot wire, and the fact that the federal minister at the time, Alexis Jeffers, was securing or responsible for securing fish pot wire as the Minister of Agriculture in the Federation. But the price of the fish pot wire in St. Kitts was significantly cheaper than the price of the fish pot wire in Nevis. He didn't make any arrangements for transportation of that wire to Nevis. And maybe he too was there saying, man, if he had a bridge, we would have been able to put a container on the bridge and send it over. But that's not the fault of the fishermen. They too would like a bridge so that they can go down to St. Kitts and get their goods cheaper. But that did not happen when you had federal ministers in Nevis responsible for things like fisheries. So you got to wonder. This evening, as usual, we are talking to you about a bridge. And I find it interesting that there are bridges all over the world. And this evening, we'll bring you two from Turkey. And again, let me compliment our team, the technical team that has done such a fantastic job. But before we go to those bridges from Turkey, I want to look and listen and share with you some of what is happening between the United States of America and Canada. Because there are bridges existing already, very heavy trafficked bridges. And there is the Gordie Howe Bridge, the original. And then there is one which has seen substantial completion to date. And we showed you the old one on this program. There is a new one which should be opened anytime now. It has been completed. My understanding is that what they are doing now is inspections. So they are doing the inspections on that bridge. And then all of a sudden, here comes President Trump to say, wait, let me muddy the water a little bit. So listen to this.
Connecting the U.S. to Canada may be delayed again. This time it has nothing to do with construction delays, inclement weather, or supply shortages. Fox News' Dave Spencer joins us live along the Detroit River with more on why President Trump says the bridge won't open until he says it's time. Dave.
Yeah, I think this one took a lot of people by surprise. The Gordie Howe Bridge is scheduled to open in early 2026, and from where I stand now, it looks ready to roll. So seemingly any day now, but the president came in and said, not so fast. He says he will delay that opening until he says that the U.S. is compensated for, quote, everything that they gave them being Canada in this scenario. The Gordie Howe Bridge is in the final phases of its construction. All that's reportedly left to do is finish the inspection plazas and connect the bridge to local roads, both in Michigan and on the other side in Ontario. But now it appears a political obstacle stands in the way. President Donald Trump took to Truth Social Monday night to say the U.S. has been treated very unfairly by Canada. He goes on to say that President Obama gave Canada a waiver to get around the Buy American Act, meaning they didn't use any American steel to build the bridge. And he is willing to delay its opening because of it. U.S. Senator Alyssa Slotkin released a statement which reads in part, the president's agenda for personal retribution should not come before what's best for the U.S. Canada is our friend, not our enemy, and I will do everything in my power to get this critical project back on track, end quote. President Trump says the U.S. should own at least a half of the bridge, and he's open to immediate negotiations.
Very well known in Metro Detroit and throughout Michigan that the Canadian government fronted the money for this project and is going to pay it back with tolls. We've been hearing that for years, over and over and over again. So to see a communication from the president suggesting that somehow the U.S. government isn't being taken care of here, we know better in Michigan, and that's a disconnect that we're not always used to.
Yeah, Canada has said from the beginning that they will pay the $4.8 billion to build this bridge, and they hope to recoup that at the tolls. And that could take as long as 36 years, after which they're open to splitting the money gained at that tolls between the two countries. Now, coming up at 11, the CEO of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce weighs in on this. Why there may be much more at stake here, you'll hear from that coming up at about 11 o'clock. Reporting live in Detroit, Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, and Dave, there's an executive order in place in law that says a president can restrict a bridge project based on a couple factors like safety or economic interest. So state and local leaders, even the federal levels at Congress, they kind of had their hands tied here until the president signs off on it.
Yeah, I mean, probably this is a negotiating tactic. He says he's open to immediate negotiations. We'll see what come of this, and we'll see what further delays that this could implicate here at the Gordie Howe Bridge that we've been waiting for years now for the opening of.
I'll be watching it closely, and we'll be watching for your report tonight at 11 with more on what the Detroit Regional Chamber has to say about this. Dave Spencer for us live tonight.
So there it is. Bridge being built between the US and Canada, between Michigan and Ontario. And I've seen various figures ranging from 4.8 to 5.7 billion dollars. So it's not a cheap undertaking. It's one of the biggest construction projects in North America, and it's substantially complete. But here it is. Right when they're getting ready for the opening, President Trump has declared, hey, listen, I may block the opening of this bridge until and unless Canada pays to the U.S. what they owe us. And he has not detailed what he claims that they owe. But what I can say to you is that he's saying that they didn't use American steel in the bridge and all kind of things. Now, it is not just a bridge, because at both ends you have massive complexes, lots of space which has been dedicated to immigration and customs, because you have to clear immigration and customs. You're going into a different country. The amount of traffic on that bridge in terms of the trucking, forget about the passengers for a minute, because the goods which are being transported from auto parts to manufacturing, steel, lots of lumber, all kind of things, you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of cargo. And when you look at the numbers, they're claiming that it will take about 36 years to repay based on the tolls that are collected, which is fair enough, because you're talking somewhere between 4.8 to 5.7 billion dollars. Well, President Trump is saying, hey, hold on. I may block the opening of this bridge until and unless you satisfy my demands. I'm going to be following this story very closely. One thing I can say to you, we won't need any customs and immigration between Nevis and St. Kitts, because it's one federation. And so we'll be able to move very smoothly between Nevis and St. Kitts. And the bridge is not going to cost us billions either. A couple $100 million, and we'll be okay. But I want people to understand the nature of bridges and how the bridges influence trade and influence not just the commerce part of it, but tourism, passenger movements, and the economy of the islands. I'm talking about Nevis and St. Kitts, and the larger economy of Canada and the US in terms of this Gordie Howe Bridge. We're going to come back in just a little while. We have 2 bridges from Turkey to show you this evening, but we will always like to make sure that our sponsors are happy. So good evening to you if you're tuned in and listening. And our numbers, I'm sure that you should have written them down by now. 669-7312, 917-460-2187, 469-7953. And all we say is that just be respectful when you call. Don't get the station into any trouble with anything that is libelous and cause us to have to go to court. Back after this.
Life's unpredictability is a constant reminder to be prepared. Let Nagico Insurances safeguard what matters most to you. Our comprehensive medical coverage includes dental, vision, and preventative care, ensuring your well-being. With a range of life insurance options, we assist in estate planning and cover significant expenses like education or home ownership. Contact Nagico now for tailored coverage that suits your needs. Nagico Insurances. Fast, fair, and always there.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our Airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Thank you very much and welcome back. We're talking bridging the gap, and we're talking about that bridge which I fancy between Nevis and St. Kitts. And we're here on a Tuesday night between 8:40 and 9:40. Time flies very quickly. We only have 30 minutes. So without wasting any more time, let me give you one of those bridges from Turkey. And we're just doing this to make sure that you understand that bridges are built all over the world and serve very useful purposes. And we believe that the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis, and in particular Nevis, can benefit in so many different ways by having a bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts and making the cost of goods on Nevis cheaper. Let's look at this first bridge from Turkey.
The Osman Gazi Bridge is one of Turkey's most ambitious engineering achievements, a structure that reshaped transportation, strengthened the national economy, and transformed the way millions of people move across the country. Spanning the blue waters of Izmit Bay, it stands as a symbol of modern Turkey's determination to build big, build bold, and build for the future. It reflects a country investing in long-term connectivity, linking regions, reducing travel times, and opening new economic corridors. Construction of the Osman Gazi Bridge began in 2013, marking the start of one of the most complex engineering efforts in modern Turkey. In just 3 years, this massive structure rose from the sea, an extraordinary pace for a project of its scale and technical difficulty. By the time it officially opened on July 1, 2016, the bridge had already captured global attention for its speed of construction, its precision, and its ambition. The bridge and its connecting motorway was reportedly completed at a cost of $1 billion, reflecting not only the scale of the structure itself, but the project also represented a major national investment. When completed, the Osman Ghazi Bridge became one of the world's longest suspension bridges, with a central span of 1,550 meters, placing it among the top 10 longest suspension spans ever built. The bridge stands as a symbol of engineering excellence, built quickly and boldly, transforming the movement of people and goods across Turkey. The bridge crosses Izmit Bay, in the heart of the Marmara region, creating a direct link between the cities of Jebs on the northern shore and Yalova on the southern side. This stretch of water has always been a natural barrier, beautiful, but challenging, separating communities, slowing travel, and shaping the rhythm of life around the bay. Before the bridge existed, drivers had only two choices: a long, winding journey around the entire bay, often clogged with heavy traffic, or a slow ferry crossing that depended on schedules, weather, and long waiting lines. What should have been a simple connection became a major obstacle for commuters, families, and businesses. The Osman Ghazi Bridge changed that reality almost overnight. With its opening, a trip that once took an hour and a half can now be completed in just 6 minutes. This was more than a reduction in travel time. It strengthened the ties between Istanbul, Bursa, and Izmir, three of Turkey's most important economic centers. The Osman Ghazi Bridge is more than a shortcut. It is a strategic link in Turkey's north-south transportation corridor, reshaping how people and goods move across the Marmara region. As the backbone of the Jebs, or Hungazi, Izmir motorway, it strengthens national logistics, reduces travel times, and creates a seamless flow between major industrial zones. By bridging the two shores of Izmit Bay, it closes a critical gap in Turkey's highway network. For commuters, businesses, and transport companies, the bridge delivers reliability, speed, and efficiency. Freight moves more predictably, daily travel becomes safer and faster, and tourism benefits from easier access to coastal cities. It also provides a vital evacuation and supply route during emergencies, enhancing regional resilience. In every sense, the Osman Ghazi Bridge supports mobility, fuels economic growth, and reinforces Turkey's vision for a modern, integrated transportation network. The economic impact of the Osman Ghazi Bridge is profound. By sharply reducing travel times across Izmit Bay, it lowers fuel use, cuts transportation costs, and boosts productivity for millions of travelers and thousands of businesses. The bridge strengthens trade and logistics between Istanbul and the industrial hubs of Bursa and Kakali, supports tourism along the Marmara and Aegean coasts, enhances port operations with faster freight routes, and stimulates real estate growth in surrounding cities through improved accessibility. Beyond these direct benefits, it improves national competitiveness by enabling shorter delivery times, more efficient supply chains, and lower operational costs for industries that depend on speed. Overall, the bridge is estimated to save hundreds of millions of dollars each year in time, fuel, and efficiency, a powerful driver of economic growth across Western Turkey. At night, the Osman Ghazi Bridge becomes a glowing ribbon of light across the bay. Its towers rise like illuminated sentinels, and the suspension cables shimmer with color. The reflections on the water create a breathtaking scene, a blend of engineering and artistry that has become one of the Marmara region's most iconic night views. The Osman Ghazi Bridge is more than steel and cables. It is a testament to vision, innovation, and national progress. A bridge that connects not only two shores, but millions of lives.
Thank you and welcome back. That's one of the two bridges that we'll show you this evening, share with you. And just to tell you that right now, if you want to commute between Nevis and St. Kitts taking your transportation, you just have one choice: boat. The people in Turkey in this area had a second choice. They could drive for under 2 hours and get to their destination. We only can drive to the edge of Nevis or the edge of St. Kitts and look across, or drive to the pier and drive onto one of these roll-on, roll-off boats that we have. This technically should be treated as a national investment. If we sit down and wait for some investor to come from outside to build this bridge for us, it will take some time. And we want to be able to move people and goods at speed, because the absence of this bridge slows travel between Nevis and St. Kitts. And sometimes it not just slows it, it stops it. When the weather is not good, when the seas are rough, it just does not slow the travel, it stops the travel between Nevis and St. Kitts. I am convinced that building this bridge will lower the operational cost that we have, will increase competitiveness. Because as it is right now, people move from Nevis to St. Kitts to shop for lower prices anyway, and to shop for a wider range of goods. You have this bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts, it will definitely increase competitiveness. Because then you would lower the cost of moving the goods between Nevis and St. Kitts. And not only that, our people will know that there is the choice which is offered to customers in Nevis that, listen, if you want to see more, if you want to negotiate lower prices, if you want to shop at lower rates, you can take the bridge. Somehow, for some reason, it is taking a long time for our politicians to see the vision. Maybe, just maybe, their vision can only see roads and the hospitals and schools, community centers, but they are yet to understand the full impact of having a bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. We're going to listen to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll show you the second bridge.
Life's unpredictability is a constant reminder to be prepared. Let Nagico Insurances safeguard what matters most to you. Our comprehensive medical coverage includes dental, vision, and preventative care, ensuring your well-being. With a range of life insurance options, we assist in estate planning and cover significant expenses like education or home ownership. Contact Nagico now for tailored coverage that suits your needs. Nagico Insurances. Fast, fair, and always there.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our Airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the bridge.
We want finally to emphasize for national economic development and investment the big pictures that we painted 10, 15 years ago of physical connectivity between St. Kitts and Nevis. If that is possible and that is going to enhance our future development, let us go.
The CBI program's contribution to Dominica's economy and sustainable development has been immense. Its revenues have funded national projects in infrastructure, healthcare, education, housing, tourism and climate resilience, namely a new international airport, geothermal energy facilities, major hotel developments, climate resilient homes, 12 new health centers, school construction and renovations, the new Marigot Hospital, the Capritz Marina in Portsmouth, and the cable car system, to name a few.
Listen, I stopped drawing comparisons between the program in Dominica, the CBI program, and the program here in Nevis and St. Kitts, because we have different styles in terms of the leadership. In Dominica, they listed a number of things that their CBI program funded. Airport, you're talking 700 million. Geothermal, hotels, climate resilient homes, 12 new health centers, schools, hospital, marina, cable car. In St. Kitts and Nevis, when we wanted a small sum of $150 million for the second cruise ship pier, we ran to the private sector, ran to the banks and so on, as if we broke and we can't afford to fund it. $150 million. In Dominica, they said, listen, we're building an airport for $700 million. And we're going into CBI to get that $750 million. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, we scrambled to get $150 million. And we've been in CBI long before them. They went into the CBI funds to get money for geothermal. And in Nevis, we're going all over. Going down to the Saudis. Their business is oil, but we're going to the Saudis to get money. We've gone to the Caribbean Development Bank to get money. And so on. It seemed to me as if we are also struggling. If Social Security can build homes, can give us funding for homes, we've got to reach out to Trinidad. And in Dominica, they're saying, no, we are putting our hands in the pot. We're taking out money to build our homes. So we heard about a couple thousand homes down in St. Kitts with a company out of Trinidad. And people waiting to see the homes appear, but can't find the appearance. 12 new health centers. NRP built a health center, and NRP has been out of office since 2013. NRP built the first health center that had been built in Nevis for 60 years. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, you still, let me talk for Nevis, you still have the same amount of health centers that we had when my mother was making children. And not only that, the Cotton Ground Health Center and the Gingerland Health Center are in community centers. We can't find money in our CBI program to build health centers, but Dominica found money to build 12. We're waiting on money to build the New Bastia Senior High School and other schools. While in Dominica they're building not school, schools, hospital, marina, the cable car system. And I'm saying all of that to say, you have to wonder, what did we do with our CBI funds? Why didn't we dig into our CBI funds and take out half of the money that Dominica spent on their airport to build a bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts? They spent $700 million on the airport. $350 million could do the bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. Where there's a will, there's a way. It's 26 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. We finish at 9:40. So let me go back down to Turkey, and let me bring you that second bridge. And I like the first one. So let's see what the second one is like. The technical team did really well. Let's look at this one.
The Osman Ghazi Bridge is one of
No,
Turkey's
we are
most
stopping that
ambitious
one
engineering
because that
achievements.
is the same one that we showed you. I clicked on the wrong one. So let me make sure that I give you this one.
Istanbul, the city that connects two continents, Europe and Asia, is a true melting pot of cultures, history, and modernity. One of the most iconic elements that connects these two worlds is the Bosphorus Bridge, also known as the Europe Bridge, a structure that has transformed not only Istanbul's infrastructure, but also its identity and development. This bridge not only has geographical importance, but also political, economic, and cultural importance. Before talking about the bridge itself, it is important to understand the geographical location of the Bosphorus Strait. This strait, approximately 30 kilometers long, divides Istanbul into two parts, the European part and the Asian part. For centuries, the Bosphorus has been one of the most strategic shipping routes in the world, connecting the Black Sea with the Sea of Marmara. Throughout history, this strait has been the scene of important events and has served as a crucial route for trade, culture, and politics between East and West. For centuries, the inhabitants of Istanbul, formerly Constantinople, crossed this strait in small boats. However, with the growth of the city and its expansion, especially in the 20th century, the need for an infrastructure that facilitated the crossing between the two banks became evident, not only for vehicles, but also for an increasingly growing population. The Bosphorus Bridge project has long been a dream to establish a connection between the two parts of the city. The bridge was designed as a suspension bridge, similar to the Tower Bridge of London in terms of structure, but adapted to the geographical and environmental conditions of the Bosphorus. The bridge was inaugurated on October 30th, 1973, a symbolic day for the Turkish people, as it coincided with the 50th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey. The project required the construction of enormous support pillars and steel cables that suspended the structure across the strait, with a total length of 1,510 meters. At its time, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world and one of the most challenging to build due to the conditions of the strait, which features a constant flow of ocean currents, strong winds, and of course, the tremendous depth of the water. All of this is reflected in the constant boat traffic. The Bosphorus Bridge, formerly known as the 15th of July Martyr Bridge, in honor of those who fell in the 2016 coup attempt, has a profound impact on daily life in Istanbul and Turkey in general. The Bosphorus Bridge has made it possible to cross between Europe and Asia without having to board ships or ferries. Before its construction, crossing the Bosphorus was a long and slow experience, often affected by weather conditions. With the bridge, tens of thousands of people can quickly cross between both continents, which has made life in the city greatly easier. The bridge has also had a large economic impact. It has allowed a better connection of the commercial and industrial sectors of both sides of the city. The European side is home to some of the most important business areas, while the Asian side has seen rapid residential and industrial development. This has helped relieve the pressure of urban growth in certain areas, allowing people to live on one side of the Bosphorus and work on the other. Before its construction, people relied on ferries, which sometimes could not carry enough passengers due to long lines and weather conditions. Today, the Bosphorus Bridge facilitates the passage of thousands of vehicles a day. Furthermore, the bridge continues to be a symbol of Turkey's progress. The Bosphorus Bridge is not only a work of engineering, but also a cultural and tourist symbol. Increasingly, it has become an icon of Istanbul. At night, the bridge is illuminated with lights that enhance its architectural beauty and is a visual landmark from many places in the city. Furthermore, the bridge has been the protagonist in numerous film and documentary productions, establishing itself as an integral part of Istanbul's urban landscape. Today, the Bosphorus Bridge is one of 3 bridges crossing the Bosphorus. In 1988, the second Bosphorus Bridge, known as the Fatih Sultan Mehmet Bridge, was inaugurated, and in 2016 the third Bosphorus Bridge, named Yavuz Sultan Selim, was inaugurated, further easing the load on the first bridge. However, the original Bosphorus Bridge remains the most famous and the most representative. The Bosphorus Bridge is not only a structure that connects 2 continents, it is a symbol of the unity and progress of Istanbul. Its construction marked a milestone in modern Turkish history and forever changed the way the city's inhabitants relate to their surroundings. Through its history, importance, and the impact it continues to have on the lives of Istanbulites, the bridge has proven to be much more than just a feat of engineering. It is a true testament to the spirit of innovation and determination of a city that looks to the future while honoring its past.
When I look around in the world, what do I see? I see footprints that man have left on the sand while walking through times. I see fruits of our ambitions, figments of our imagination. And I ask myself, when will it end? When will it end? It is plain to see, universally this land is not bountiful as it was, simply because in this quest for success, nothing stands in man's way. All rivers run dry, soon the birds won't fly, the mountains will be no longer high. And when I really think of it, yes, I just wonder why. Charity deplored, equal rights totally ignored, wisdom and ingenuity working in accord, simply to afford such inventions as thermonuclear warfare and environmental warfare. And I wonder now, where do we go from here? Prophets everywhere gaze upon the horizon, and declare that judgment will come as the savage hands of unscrupulous men defile everything passed by. Time is running out as we eat and drink species at the brink of being extinct, yeah. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high, really, really high, high, high. I see consciousness abate as today we live recklessly. Money make egos inflate and thereby create a turbulent state. I see a struggle between the sexes, new hang-ups and old complexes. Now the question is, right in context, what shall be next? I've already seen this would have come divided between race, color, creed, and class. And some of the things the scripture predict how it truthfully come to pass. Soil that wouldn't bear children, making children to be a part of this growing mass. And I ask, if this is progress, Lord, how long would it last? How long would it last? How long would it last? I see craziness increase, bogus priests and corrupt police. No peace, the struggle don't cease as man turn to drugs, searching for relief. I see a frightened humanity, a sad and confused society, and it saddens me. How shall it be in time to come? Can this world withstand this constant misuse and abuse by the hands of man as they try to shape this world in a way to fit in with all their plans? Time is running out as we eat and drink species at the brink of being extinct, yes. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high, real high.
Thank you very much, King Austin, reminding us that the price of progress is high. But you can't sit back and expect to get progress. You have to have a vision, you have to have the appetite, and you have to be able to say, this is what I want to do and I want to do it now. And so, we're going to be back with you next week. We're here every single Tuesday night. And we come to talk to you about bridging the gap between Nevis and St. Kitts. And so, tune in. Record the numbers 669-7312, 917-460-2187, 469-7953. And when you're going to call me early in the program so that you can get your views aired. Imagine that last bridge that we showed you. There were 3 different bridges across the Bosporus Straits. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, we are struggling to get one single bridge across the Narrows. Simply because the politicians don't seem to have a will for it. Caller, you're our last caller tonight. Yeah.
I'm praying that I live to see that. And I'm praying that those 3 girls could be successful in the next election, along with down here, because I'm pulling in 4 seats down here, big time. So I hope we could see the bridge before Pretty Flowers and Board Box come our way. Have a good night, Carly.
Thank you very much.
And
have a good night.
Keep talking the things, them.
Thanks for calling.
Bring them back down at all.
Thank you very much. I want to see the bridge too. I want to walk on it. I want to run on it. I want to ride my bicycle on it. I want to drive over it. And I want to be able to say, listen, I'm going to make a trip. And I want to make a late trip down to St. Kitts and just go about my business without having to book on any boat to get me there. Because Nevis and St. Kitts as one federation, is time enough that we have the bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. And that's the simple message that I come to bring you on a Tuesday night. Let's do it. Let's stop talking about it and get working. Hire some consultants. Start getting estimates for doing it. Start getting designs. You hear about people here building bridges, doing it quickly in deep, deep water. And we have a little 30 feet of water here, and we seem like we're scared to build a bridge between Nevis and St. Kitts. Listen, thank you for being part of the company for me this evening. And I'm going to be back with you next week, Tuesday evening, with more bridges. And talking to you about having this bridge done between Nevis and St. Kitts. So if you have friends who go to sleep early, tell them no on a Tuesday night, except the first Tuesday of the month. But on a Tuesday night, stay up late. Because the technical team is already ahead of the game. They're already presenting bridges for next week. And so we want you to be a part of it. And you notice how the pictures are brilliant and the commentary is excellent. Join us next week if you want to see more. And I'll be here talking to you about bridging the gap. See you next week.
Life's unpredictability is a constant reminder to be prepared. Let Nagico Insurances safeguard what matters most to you. Our comprehensive medical coverage includes dental, vision, and preventative care, ensuring your well-being. With a range of life insurance options, we assist in estate planning and cover significant expenses like education or home ownership. Contact Nagico now for tailored coverage that suits your needs. Nagico Insurances. Fast, fair,
Need to get
and
your
always
goods
there.
to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further.